I'm Carrie, also known as Jaded Knitter, and welcome to the KnitPug podcast. And this is the Pug gadget. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and Twitter, all under Jaded Knitter. And you can find us on Ravelry, YouTube, and iTunes under KnitPug, and the blog, which is knitpug.com. Are you actually going to stay today? I'm impressed. You might actually stay. So I have foes. I have lots of foes. Well, relatively speaking, I have new foes. First is the project that I've been kind of teasing you guys with for the last little while because I couldn't show it yet because it wasn't released. This is, and it's too big to show. This is a shawl that was designed by my friend Teresa, who's proper on Ravelry. It's called the Fibonautilus, and it's designed around the Fibonacci sequence, which is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on. It's basically you take one number, add it to the previous number to get the next, take that, add it to the previous, and so on. So that's what this is based on, and it is designed to look like a nautilus shell, because the nautilus shell is pretty much nature's version of the Fibonacci sequence, and I love this thing. It was a fun knit, and it's one of those things where it gets bigger, because you can see like the final section here is fairly large, but once you've cast on the final number of stitches, it goes downhill because it's all decreases. And as you can see, it's done in a gradient yarn, which I have a thing for gradients. I love them. I really do. Where did I put it? There it is. And it is from Hillary's Magic Yarnporium on Etsy, and it is in her Q Basic base, and the colorway is Yes Sir Captain Tight Pants, which I know some of you get those references. So. So it is done. The pattern is up on Ravelry, and I will post links. It's like I said, it's called the Fibonautilus, and it is a wonderful little knit. So I'm very, very pleased with this one. And then the other one I did is also, or was also a test knit for Teresa. And these were the mitts that I was showing last week in the Malabrigo that I got from Selma. And they're called the Turbo Mitts. And there's actually mitts and a hat, and I am going to knit the hat. The hat pattern has been released, and the mitt pattern will be released in the next couple of weeks. Again, wonderful knit, really quick. It only took me a couple of hours to do one. I actually knit, basically I'm almost a full knit. I'd say 3/4 of a mitt, minus a thumb. While in a 3-hour meeting, 2.5-hour meeting, a week or so ago. So, quick knit. They are out of worsted weight on, ooh dear, don't quote me, but I think it's a size 4mm, so a US 6 needle. Should have checked that, forgot to. And it has a wonderful little mock lace stitch pattern on it. And I really like them. They're going to be lovely mittens, and they will work quite well for late fall. Unfortunately, because of where I live, they're just not going to be thick enough for winter. Come January, it'll be -40 with the wind chill. So I wear several layered. Actually, these will probably work good as layered mitts. Yeah. So that is all the foes for today. And I have, where'd it go? I have my work in progress, which is a pair of socks that I started knitting back in the spring, I think, and am finally getting around to finishing. I have a sock and a half done. So this is the finished one. And it is, let me check my notes here. These are Viola Stockings by Sarah Jordan. And it's out of the book Defarge Does Shakespeare, which is by Cooperative Press. And it's one of the, I love Cooperative Press books. They're all well written, well edited. They have nice pictures, good charts, the whole 9 yards. So that's what these are out of. Now this is me, I did modify them. First of all, I did them toe up as opposed to top down, which is what it calls for. There is actually a picoed edge that's supposed to be on it with beads. I don't generally wear socks without pants on, so I decided to not bother doing the edge. And I also did a short row heel. I don't remember what the actual heel was for it, but I don't think it was a short row. Anyway, I like them. And it is one of those easy patterns. This was bust knitting for the most part. I actually had to rip out I had this mostly done, and that was my part. I had to rip it mostly out, and yeah. So these are just on my signatures, which are 2.25s, the US ones. And it's out of, the yarn is Shameless Twist in her Precious base, which has stellene in it, so it's sparkly. And the color is Moist Von Lipwig. I have no idea where this came from. I think she sells on Etsy. I got this from Sue, who's Crafty Nurse 7, so I don't know where it came from originally. But I love it. And yes, I know these are orange, and these might just become my Halloween socks by default, because I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So if you have any ideas on Halloween yarn for socks, let me know. I think I want self-striping, but I'm still not sure. Yes, there is still a pug in my lap. Hello, sir. So that's it for, I guess, for the knitting portion of things. Like I said, I wanted to do reviews every week, so I'm going to do one. This is not quite a review per se. Blocking. It's something I've noticed a lot of people have questions on, and I've actually had a lot of people ask me questions on it. And I figured, since I blocked this morning, because it's a perfect day for blocking, I would keep the blocking stuff out and do a quick little segment on it. Now this was blocked in a circle because of how it's shaped, because it is shaped like a round shell. I'll pull this one off because it's a completely different shape. And this, I have forgotten what pattern this is. I'll have to look it up. Was, as you can see, it's got dangly bits. Now there are beads on the end of these, but these were all individually blocked out points, and this one is blocked as a crescent. And then you have your triangles, your sweaters, and whatnot. Now, a lot of sweaters I steam block. Honestly, I'm not going to bother pinning it out. I haul out my ironing board and my iron, and I block it with an iron. Now that's me. Don't do that to... This works for wool, silk, stuff like that. Don't do it if it's got beads in it. Beads and heat don't mix. Also, you can't really steam block a shawl unless it's... I have my dressmaker's dummy is sitting just off screen, and that's where I have a bunch of my shawls currently. This one was steam blocked because it is done out of sock yarn. It's fairly heavyweight, and the lace pattern is not very big per se. So it was steam blocked. Basically, I stuck it on the ironing board and ironed it. I do recommend, if you're going to iron things, test, do a swatch, figure out, especially if you're new to ironing, do swatches, figure out the best way to iron it out. But yeah, I've literally blocked sweaters, waited 5 minutes for them to cool down, because you do have to, you're steaming it, so you do want it to cool down and set and warm it. So I can block a full sweater in under half an hour. But like I said, for shawls, I pin them out. I pin them on my bed. I have a queen size bed, and I don't have floor space. And I have a pug who will sit on them. So I have to make sure that I block him off from the bed. Now as far as, oops. Should have moved this closer. There we go. As far as blocking wires go, I have two different types, and I love them both. These, I'm just going to pull up the little ones. These are, as you can probably tell, very, very thin and very bendy. See that very well. These are from, I got these off of Etsy a few years ago. Inspinity. It's INSPINKNITY. I'll do a link. And that's where I got these from. And she sells them in sets, so these are the smallest of them, and then they have longer ones. These are great for anything round, because you thread them through the edging. This one back up because it's smaller. You thread it through the edging and pin it out and let it dry. Pins. So as you can probably see in here, there are different. I don't know if you can see that very well. There are different sizes that come in the package. I have one of her massive deluxe packages because I knit massive things and block them. And then the other ones I got these off KnitPugs, again, years and years ago. There's a lot of places that sell them now. Heck, I've seen these wires in hardware stores. You just have to be very careful because you don't want them to have any kind of grease on them. So I do not recommend buying them from your local hardware store. But these are, as you can probably tell, a lot thicker, and they don't bend as much. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but this one is actually bent. Most of my blocking wires now have a curve in them because generally I will curve them. These are better for blocking straight lines because you thread the edge through there and then you block it against the wire. It creates a nice straight line without the dips and divots that you're going to get if you do it with just pins. And then pins, take one of these out. I use T-pins, so-called because of the fact that there is kind of a T on the end there. I don't know how well these are going to show up. These, I like them because they're heavy duty. They've got a fairly long shaft on them, and they don't bend. And like I said, I'm blocking into my bed, so I need them to go through a layer of towels, bedding, and into the mattress. I do also block onto the big foam mats. Those are wonderful, especially if you're blocking on the ground, or a table or anything like that. Those are great. Pretty much you can block anywhere you can stick a pin into. You just have to make sure that furry children and other two-legged children don't, wander over them, or husbands, because, that happens too. So that's what I block with. And yeah, it takes, if I'm blocking a lace shawl, it's probably going to take me a good 20 minutes to pin it out correctly, because I'll start to pin, and I generally will pin from the center line. So I'll pin it lengthwise. I'll pin it widthwise, length, height, whatever. I'll pin it this way, top and bottom, and then stretch out. So like I said, I'm generally doing shawls, so I'll stretch out from there. And if it's square, square and round actually, I pin the 4 compass points, and we'll work from there. And then, you know, as you're stretching it, it's getting stretched a bit, so you have to move the pins out and whatnot. As far as getting it to that point, if I'm blocking it on my bed, I stick it in water with a bit of some kind. I use, good question, I'm not entirely sure what I use. I have bottles in the bathroom of essentially very light duty cleaner. I have actual wool wash, but I have found that a lot of bra stores, so places like Victoria's Secret, La Senza, any of those places, they sell bra wash. Same thing. In a lot of cases, literally the same thing. So you can use that and fill it up with not hot, not cold. You want tepid water, so yeah, just kind of in that middle ground. Fill it up with that. Leave it submerged for a good 30 minutes. If I'm blocking something thicker, like a shawl, or not like a shawl, like no, pull something else off here. This never got blocked, but it is made out of, it's very heavy, bulky weight yarn. If I'm blocking something like this, then I am gonna leave it probably for an hour, because you want the water to soak in all the way through the fibers. You might have to fill the sink up a second time. Just keep an eye on it, because I have found, especially with the larger items, is it will just suck the water right out of it. So once it's good and wet, you now have to dry it somewhat, because you don't want it sopping wet. It'll never dry. So there are a couple of ways to do that. You want to very carefully press the water out. You don't wring it, because that's going to just take it out of shape. I will generally kind of squidge into a ball and push down in the sink. And then what I've heard a lot of people do is they will put it out on a towel, like lay it flat on a towel, roll it up, and stand on it to squish out water. Repeat with another towel. You want it damp. You want it to still be damp, but you don't want it to be sopping wet. I have an electric spinner, like spin dryer. It's not an actual dryer. You do not want to use an actual dryer. Mine sits upright, goes in. It's a centrifuge, basically. And I put it in there for a minute. Perfect every time. If you don't have one of those, salad spinner. Yes, I am serious. A salad spinner. Do not use the one that you used for your salad. Otherwise, your family will be getting slightly woolly salad. So yeah, a good sized salad spinner. That was actually what I used before I got the electric one. Works wonderfully. Put it in there, spin it for a while. Bob's your uncle, and then pin it out. Let it dry. Sweaters, you could be looking at anywhere up to 48 hours for it to dry completely. So have a spot that you can put it that you're not going to have to sleep on it. I generally will put it in front of a window with a fan blowing over it, because I find that works the best. Or at least it does for me. I also don't bother blocking on rainy days, because what's the point? Nothing's going to evaporate. So yeah, that's blocking. Quick, dirty blocking 101. I really need to fix this. It's supposed to be an infinity cowl. You notice how it's not twisted? Yeah, doesn't quite fit right. We have 4 coupon codes still going on. Bags by Awesome Granny, Pug 15 will get you 15% off until the end of the year. The Twisted Stitch CA, Jaded 15 will get you 15% off until the end of this month on anything over $10. So if you're ordering one of her bags, you're good. Bling Your String, Pug Love will get you free shipping until October 10th. And Art by Anna Handmade, which is her bags, Pug 10 will get you 10% off until the end of the month. And then, of course, we have our cowls going on. There's the Perpetual Lace Cowls. Come, join, talk. And then the 2 that will be starting at the beginning of October, so this coming week, the Hits of Feud, which is this lace sweater. This is what I am making mine out of. It is a cotton, it's sandsgarn, so it's Norwegian, I think. Oh dear. I don't know, it's in a language I cannot read. And French. Because everything in this country has to come in French. I don't remember whose flag that is. I know it's one of the Northern European countries. I just don't remember which one. I am sorry. So if anyone knows. So yeah, that's what I'm doing mine out of. And so that's starting. And then the Hint of Cold, which is for anything small that you can wear during the winter. So socks, mitts, hats, scarves. I'm going to throw baby items in there just because they're small and they're portable. And they keep somebody warm. So those are both starting then. And I've actually received a challenge. A couple of people have said that they wanted to see more about socks. So I am going to be doing a little bit of a series on various parts of socks. But I had a couple of people mention crocheting. Now, I haven't crocheted in years. I used to be good at it, but I haven't done it in years. And when I did it, I did a lot of lacy doilies. An awful lot, and Christmas ornaments and whatnot. So I've never really crocheted something wearable. It's not true, I have. It turned out horribly, horribly wrong. We'll leave it at that. So we're just going with I've never crocheted anything wearable. And I had someone say they wanted to crochet socks because they didn't knit. I'm like, okay. So the challenge is, can Carrie crochet a pair of socks? The answer is I don't know. So we're going to find out because I'm going to attempt this. So if anyone has created, knows of, whatever, a crocheted sock pattern for a beginner, because realistically, I haven't done it long enough. I'm going to be on YouTube looking up videos. So sock pattern. Carrie needs a sock pattern. That is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Is find Carrie a sock pattern. Yeah, that's it. That's all. The pug is glaring at me from my other chair. Apparently, I'm interrupting his nap. I think this is the mid-afternoon nap at this point. My dog does 11sies. Only he gets naps. Yeah, that's it. That's all. We're done. I will see you all next week. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And thank you for joining the group. Because I think there's almost 400 of you. So yes, join me on Rav. Bye!